All right. Tell me everything.
I didn't think I was gonna get this far.
Okay, can I just say that your game reminds me so much of my game.
Really?
The only time that I played.
Okay.
Because I almost got out several times in the beginning because I had no idea what I was doing. I'm not saying that was the case for you
but
necessarily.
I didn't.
You didn't? Okay.
No. I did. I read the instructions, but I also read them like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
Right.
So.
And I just had never watched Survivor or anything like that.
No.
But people took that as a strategy on my part, or they thought that you didn't want to be here or something like that. Yeah. So they like interpreted the fact that I didn't know what I was doing they thought that I was strategically like playing dumb.
Yeah. Well, so I figured that people would think that I was doing that, which like at a certain point I realized that I could probably I could pick it up and then still keep that going. But I mean, I don't know, there were still plenty of times where I would have discussions with people and I'd be like, okay, so wait, can you, like I'd have to ask, like, for rules or things like that, and, like, that was legit. Like,
yeah.
I wasn't...
Yeah, you weren't faking it.
I wasn't faking it. And then also in terms of the, like, I want to go home at the beginning of the game, I thought that was really funny because, like, I don't think I ever... Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I ever said, oh, I want to go home. But I think, you know, when it was made, like, apparent that I was going to be on the block, it was like, well, why send home? It was me, Nick, and Olivia. I was like, why send home Nick and Olivia? They seem very invested in this. It was almost like I didn't prepare, so it's my fault, and so send me home because of that. Mm-hmm. It was never because I didn't want to be here.
Sure.
I filled out that dang Google form.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to be here.
Right.
I just had other things in my life that came up in between then and now, and I didn't prepare the way that I wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, but you did make it far, though.
I did.
You made it far.
It's kind of cool.
So how did you do that?
I don't know.
Sheer luck, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. It was simply, I think I would have to say Edmund was one of my, like, core people, was my core person. And, like, I never asked for that, and that kindness from him was very unexpected. Everyone today was so kind, so unbelievably kind. I don't think I've ever received so many compliments in my life, which is just kind of amazing.
That's wonderful.
But no, for it being a game that is kind of, you know, it's not a nice game. If I had to
That's
classify
one way
it,
to describe it. Yeah.
if I had to classify it as such. But no, everyone was fantastic, and so I think ultimately, in the end, I did good at the challenges. I would like humble brag, like that corn toss challenge, that first shot right in. I've never been more glad that I just played that hours on end, like by myself over the summers.
You're just a cornhole gal.
I'm just a cornhole gal. But yeah,
that's awesome.
Strategy.
So if you could do things differently, if you could do anything differently, can you think of anything?
I would have gotten here earlier in the morning. I was the last person here, so I felt like I was at kind of a disadvantage, and that was the reason why I was on the block in the first place, was because Brady hadn't talked to me. And so he said, I'm going to put you on the block. And I was like, okay. So, yeah, I guess just making some more of those connections earlier on. But I don't know. I mean, I watched people do that. They came on way too strong and they were just gone. So I don't even, I don't know. Sometimes I think the whole like strategy talk and the strategy itself is kind of BS, because you never know who you're playing with and how, if that strategy will work with those people.
Right.
But,
yeah. That's a good point. Who do you think is going to win?
Oh, that's such a good question. It could be any of them.
Really?
I was terrified of Shakira. Terrified.
Why?
She's cunning.
Yeah.
She's very cunning and she knows what she's doing, and she is, yeah. I mean, I watched her come into the office downstairs and point blank just look at Abrielle and go, so I heard something, and then just like spilled about it was an alliance, but it was pinkies in a circle. It was a pinky alliance that meant nothing, because then right after that was when I nominated Shane, and Shane was a part of that alliance. But she confronted Abrielle and then threw Zach under the bus, like all in one fell swoop, and was like, that's so funny because like that's not what I heard. I actually heard this, and it was like, holy shit. Like,
so she was calling Abrielle out? Is that
yeah,
right?
she was calling Abrielle out whilst throwing Zach under the bus.
Gotcha.
And whether or not Zach was privy to that, I do not know. And I wanted to ask him, and I almost did when he told me that he was going to nominate me. But then...
Why didn't you?
I don't know. And I almost posted it on the wall, too. But then I was like, Shakira's going to know that was me. And what is that really going to do to drive a wedge between the two of them? Because they've seemed pretty tight for the majority of it.
Yeah.
I should have, but...
You're too nice.
I am too nice.
Yeah.
I'm not built for this.
I said the exact same thing.
I'm not.
But hours earlier in the game.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm made for this.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
No, when I took Shane out and he immediately pulled me aside, afterwards I said, oh, so I'm about to shit my pants and throw up all at the same time. Like, what? And he seemed genuinely, like, upset. And I was like, it's a game. Please.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Who do you think will be eliminated next?
I don't know. I think if Zach doesn't play his cards right, he could be gone. Potentially Kat.
Because she's forgetting about Kat, honestly.
Well,
she's so
that's
quiet.
the thing. Like, I think people are forgetting about her, but then because she had she was in the greenhouse this session. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, at this point, I think it's anyone's game. I do. I really do.
All right, well, we'll see. This interview show is called Flippin Out, where I interview the flippin' losers.
Flippin' losers.
Because when I got out, I flipped a table for entertainment's sake.
No way.
And I had been letting the other flippin' losers flip a small table outside, but since we had to...
Give me that damn crock.
Okay.
Crocks are kind of my thing, so... I almost wore some today, but then I was like...
This is your table.
My table?
Yeah. Go ahead and flip it.
Oh! That's funny. Cameraman, are you okay? Maddie, I'm so sorry. I meant to flip it that way, but then my wrist went that way. That's funny, though.
That is funny. I hope the shot
And I'll do it again.